What's up guys, today we got dual camera battle. This is the Ulefone Gemini Pro and the Doogee Mix. The Doogee Mix supports 16.0 megapixel camera and 8 megapixel camera. I think the 8 megapixel camera is for the monochrome, while the Ulefone supports 13.0 megapixel camera. Both camera sensor are 13.0. The Ulefone sensor is made by Sony, while the Doogee Mix is made by Samsung. So I'm going to be taking pictures, samples and videos on these devices. Bear in mind, none of these devices have optical image stabilization, so we are going to be experiencing a very shaky footage if I move about. So I'm going to be jumping into the camera interface of both devices now. Alright, this is the Ulefone Gemini Pro camera interface. I think I've done this before, so I'm just going to walk around it very quickly. For those who have not seen this, I think I did this when I did the Samsung Galaxy comparison, the Galaxy S8. Yeah, this is the Ulefone camera interface. At the bottom here you have the panorama, video, pro photos, FaceTime. I said FaceTime, face beauty. I think this is for selfie, or if you're taking pictures of people. Photos, obviously, then you can zoom in. I think it's only got 3 times digital zoom, so the bokeh effect, which is very slow. You can see it's very slow. You have to take this, adjust the slider to your choices, but it's very slow on this device. It does work, but it's manageable. It's not perfect. And the monochrome, here you have the monochrome at the bottom. If you want to take proper black and white picture without going into effect. At the top here, under the setting icon, you can see those are the stuff, but I don't know, this Ulefone always go to VGA side. Excuse me, you always go to VGA side, so I'm not shooting in VGA. I'm going to be shooting in 4x3 13 megapixel camera. Here you have the picture live photos, that's it, and here you have the night mode. So that's just about it with the Ulefone camera interface. That's the super night mode. And I think I'm going to leave everything else the same thing, but what I'm interested in is I'm going to be shooting in 4x3 aspect ratio and 13 megapixel camera. So I'm going to be jumping into the Doogee Mix now. Alright, this is Doogee Mix camera interface. It's very similar to the Ulefone when you look at the bottom. However, the Ulefone got 3 times digital zoom, while this only have 2 times digital zoom. You can see it's just 2 times, but who knows, it might be better than the Ulefone. At the bottom there's a video, photo, face beauty, like what we have on the Ulefone. The blur, I think the blur is similar to what we call bokeh on the Ulefone. It's got monochrome, panorama mode, and the pro photos, where you have to change the ISO, change everything to what you want, that's it. And here you have the settings. You've got HDR. This is the picture quality, 8 megapixel. But I'm not going to be taking the 8 megapixel. I'm going to be shooting in 13 megapixel 4x3 aspect ratio. 13 megapixel. Why can I not see that? Something is wrong. I don't know. Okay. So I'm guessing. You see what I'm saying about this? I can only shoot in 8 megapixel. For some reason, maybe if I change to 16, still for some reason I can only shoot in 8 megapixels. As you can see on the screen, I don't know why that's happening. So probably the monochrome is 16 megapixel, while the chromatic is 8 megapixel camera. I think that's what the Doogee camera sample is all about. I said the chromatic is 8 megapixel. The chromatic is the color, the monochrome is the black and white. So I'll leave it that 8 megapixel. That's not too bad. We used to have 8 megapixel as a standard before, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm shooting the 4x3 aspect ratio. I'm gonna leave the HDR on, and that's it, guys. So I'm gonna be jumping into the video now. Okay, guys. Yeah, we are live on both phones, and on a more serious note, I kind of like the color of Doogee Mix, but it's not what I'm seeing live. This is a very good example. You can see the green leaves. You can see it's very clear to detail on Doogee Mix. You can see how strong the color is. it's got too much of blue in the grain. You know, if you know about color mixing, if you're doing graphics, you can You can tell there's too much blue in the grain, but the color is not actually what I've seen on the Doogee. It represents exactly what I've seen on the Ulefone, to be very honest with you. But anyone would prefer the Doogee mix, to be honest with you. It all depends on personal preference, but for me, I think I would prefer the one on the Doogee mix, because it's very vibrant and you can see it's shiny, glittering, you know, you can see very well. Just look how strong the color is. You can see on the Doogee mix, you know, but it's not representing what I'm saying. Maybe because it's using Samsung sensor. You know, Samsung is fond of doing this stuff, you know. If you check all my videos about the camera comparison on Samsung and versus other devices, you can tell. You know, maybe, I don't know. So let me see if I can find a micro object. As usual, let's see what we get and which one is going to focus very quickly. This is a very good example. Both of them are struggling, but the Ulefone is still doing a good job. I don't know, you can see, I think this is common with the Chinese phone. They want you to tap to focus, which I just did on both devices. You know, I did tap to focus on that flower. You can see it focus while the Ulefone have the focus. It's still in focus, but you know, it did have a dark shade background. Now it's come lighter, but the Doogee is not doing too bad at all. So that's just about it when you talk about focusing on Samsung, sorry, I say Samsung, on Chinese devices. You know, they will put autofocus in the menu, but I tell you, their autofocus don't really work. So now I'm just gonna walk around. Wow, this Doogee is doing a great job. You can see what happened after I left there. It automatically focused. Even its focus is not very clear, but just looking at the screen right now, you can see the Ulefone is just blurry, and the Doogee is still not very clear, but I think it's partially okay. I might need to tap again. After tapping on both devices, you can see I think they came back to their senses. So I'm just gonna walk around. Let's see how the optical image stabilization does work on both devices. You know, you can see it's always on the grain. The Ulefone looks a little bit behind, but I tell you what, in real life, in real time, the Ulefone is representing the color very well. The Doogee had already kind of switched the color up a little bit, you know, had too much blue to the green. You know, green and yellow makes, blue and yellow makes green. So just looking for a red rose. Let's come here. Wow, none of them. You see, this is one thing about Chinese devices I've always said: don't waste your time with their autofocus. It will not automatically focus. I don't know. As you get closer to a micro object, the camera should know that, okay, I'm going to be focusing on this smaller object. But it's not always the case with these devices from China. You have to tap to focus, and that's it. You have to. If you don't tap to focus, you're just wasting your time. Looking at this, I think the Ulefone is a little bit behind too. Darker, you know, probably because I tapped to focus. I don't know. But the Doogee, I think the Doogee, I can honestly tell you, I don't like the color of this rose on the Doogee. It's not even to details at all. It's not to detail. I don't know why, but it's not to detail. I don't like the color. Let me just walk around. Let's see how the optical image stabilization does work. Oh, Ulefone always have this problem. I think Doogee autofocus is a little bit alright, you know. We can give it to Doogee. You know, when you say which one does autofocus very quickly, I think the Doogee does it, but not functional on the Ulefone at all. The autofocus is not autofocus to me. Okay, let's come here. This is pink. As you can see, I think the Doogee have one problem. The problem the Doogee have is micro objects. It does have this problem. I don't know why. The pink is alright, but I don't like what I'm seeing. Though the Ulefone, to be honest, on this pink, I don't know. The Ulefone is not trying at all on this pink. Let's tap to focus on the pink. Let's see. Yeah, I think I will give it to the. None of them is representing the color. The Doogee is a little bit more, and the Ulefone is a little bit falling behind. If you look at the sky, you can see what I'm saying. You can see the Doogee is just white. You can see why the Ulefone still might to pick the cloud. Though it's a little bit cloudy today. It's a little bit cloudy. So, but on the long run, if you have any of these devices, to be honest with you, you won't complain. That's one thing I'm very sure of. You will not complain if you have any of these devices. Considering their price, you can't ask too much, you know. Asking for the quality of the OnePlus or the quality of the Samsung is like you're just asking for something too much. No, you have to judge them based on their prices. And I think it's just a matter of time, and it's a matter of when, not how. Chinese might take over soon, you know, when it comes to delivering quality phones and stuff like that. You know, it's just a matter of time. So guys, I don't know how the optical image stabilization will function as I'm walking around, but one thing for sure is both have electronic image stabilization, not optical image. EIS is electronic image stabilization. They both have it, but not optical image stabilization. So I don't know how walking around this park will feel like while filming on the devices, but we'll see when I put this on the computer. We'll see how shaky it is, you know. So I'm gonna be jumping into picture samples now.